switched on? Yes. So, Wyre Borough Council has a duty to investigate complaints about issues that could be a statutory nuisance, a nuisance covered by the Environmental Protection Act 1990. If they agree a statutory nuisance is happening, has happened or will happen, councils must serve an abatement notice. Issues that may cause a statutory nuisance include smells from industry, trade or business premises. For the issue to count as statutory nuisance, it must do one of the following: unreasonably and substantially interfere with the use or enjoyment of a home or other premises, injure or be likely to injure. Since Jameson Road landfill was reopened in late 2023, there have been over 4,000, although I think it's more now, complaints to the Environment Agency, and over 1,500 complaints to Wyre Council about the unreasonable and unacceptable odour which has been impacting on the health and day-to-day activities of local residents. I would like to ask Councillor Vincent what actions have been taken to investigate this odour issue, including how many meetings and with whom has Wyre Council attended, and if not, why not? Has Wyre Council taken legal advice about the issue of an abatement notice? If so, with whom, and what is that advice? Given the situation now has lasted longer than 12 months, what is the delay?
I'll first address what an abatement notice is.
Could you turn the volume up a bit, please? I can't hear you.
You
You need to get
can't
nearer to the
hear you.
microphone.
Turn your microphone off.
Don't speak openly.
How do you do that then?
It's because your microphone is on, it's perfectly on. If you step away from it a little bit, it should be easy to
Turn it up. That's better.
I shall first address what an abatement notice is and the evidence we need to serve one for it to be upheld. As Dr Neil states in the introduction to her question, for there to be a statutory nuisance, we must prove with evidence that there is a nuisance that has unreasonably and substantially interfered with the use or enjoyment of a home or other premises. The Council has received a great number of complaints about the smell, and there is no doubt in any of our minds that it has interfered with our residents' enjoyment of their homes. However, if we are to take action under Part 3 of the Environmental Protection Act 1999 and prove that there is a statutory nuisance that must be abated, we must do so with evidence that proves not just the presence of a nuisance, but the extent of the impact it has had on residents' enjoyment of their property. Many of the complaints we have received have been from people visiting Fleetwood or passing through. While these complaints are legitimate and may help the EA build a general evidence base, they do not assist us in proving a statutory nuisance, as they are not complaints about the complainant's ability to enjoy their homes or use of other buildings. When we have received complaints from households, we have routinely responded by email or letter to inform the complainants that they need to provide us with evidence that we need and ask their household to complete a diary. I fully understand that people think that we are the council and so this should be our job, but it is vital that people understand that this is not the case. A council employee could not complete a diary sheet unless they lived or worked in an affected area. These need to be completed by those who own or occupy the property. They need to be completed daily or as close to daily as possible. They must record the smell, but also how it has impacted the complainant. Had it been in the property that day, or only when they used the garden? How bad has it been compared to other days?
This man is...
It's a joke.
Sorry.
It's a joke.
When there is a spike in general complaints, our environmental health team can then visit the homes completing and returning diaries in the area where the smell is worse and confirm it. Then we will have the evidence we need to potentially serve an abatement notice. I fully accept that people will think that the complaints they have made should be enough. Maybe they should be. And they are enough for the EA to take action. But they, as yet, have not used their powers to launch a general investigation into trans waste. We still want people to complain as they have been doing, but we also need people across the affected area to complete diaries. Where the smell is bad, changes depending on wind direction, and so we need people from all parts of Fleetwood and the worst affected parts of Cleveland and Thornton to complete the diary sheets and to do so every day, whether it is particularly bad that day or not. We need to be able to prove a baseline level and then a spike. We need people to continue to complete the diaries even after the notice has been served, so that we have evidence as to whether the nuisance has been abated or not. Trans waste may claim it has been, and without these diary sheets, we may struggle to prove that to be untrue. I hope that I have made clear that it is not a council policy to request these, it is what the court will require. If you or anyone you know has been affected in their home, then you should urge them to complete diary sheets. To date, of the 1,049 households who have been sent a diary to complete, only 19 have returned them, and of those 19, only one have returned more than one. I hope that people now understand how important it is to complete and return a diary sheet. Even when we have served an abatement notice, Transwaste will have the right to appeal within 21 days. While an appeal is ongoing, they have the right to continue tipping unless the EA intervene, but we have reached the point where we must take some action, and this is the best option we have in the short term, however unsatisfactory it may be. When any appeal has been exhausted by Transwaste, we would then need to seek the permission of the Secretary of State to enforce the notice. An abatement notice will not be a quick solution. We are likely to have to fight Transwaste through court, even after it has been served. But we are willing and happy to serve one once we have the diary evidence. So to answer Dr. Neal's question directly, to investigate the odour as a statutory nuisance, we have sent him hundreds of diary sheets to residents.
No, you haven't.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Different people from the EA and officers and councillors have attended such meetings. We've taken advice from King's Council about the various possible avenues we can take to bring this awful situation to an end, including the service of an abatement notice. I will not be setting out Council's advice in a public meeting, as it may prejudice the action we are to take. I will, however, confirm that any possible steps or action Council has advised that we may be able to take will be taken if they have any reasonable prospects of success. We are in the process of instructing external solicitors to assist our legal team and external consultants with expertise in landfill sites. We as a council have no such experience, and so have until now been relying upon the EA for this advice.
You don't say.
Our own independent expert evidence is in the public interest.
You're the landlord.
As to the delay, there is no delay. We do not currently have the specific evidence we require to be able to serve an abatement notice. That may be unsatisfactory to those in the public gallery, but we are following the law. We do not make it.
How do you know when you get in the middle of the night filling a diary sheet?
About this, we will receive weekly diary sheets from as many people as possible. I am aware that there are councillors from both sides who live in affected areas, and I urge them to take the lead by completing diary sheets starting tomorrow. We should all encourage anyone affected in their home to do so. Completing them is an inconvenience, but much less so.
You're an inconvenience.
Situation.
It's not a smell, it's poisonous gas.
Thank you.
Terrible
Dr.
attitude.
Neal, you do now have the opportunity to raise a supplementary question if you wish.
Go on, Barbara.
This must arise directly from the original question or the reply given.
Okay, so there's been a delay to action with respect to the Jameson landfill. The delay is related to a second duty of Wyre Council as owner of Jameson Road landfill and landlord to Transwaste.
Yes.
Wyre Council have a duty to review the tenancy agreement in light of the Environment Agency enforcement actions and the adverse impact on local residents. This delay is due to a financial concern that Suez may demand back a guarantee of 1.3 million as written in the lease. This financial risk equates to £20 approximately per resident of Fleetwood, Thornton Cleveland, Knott End, Preesall and Hambleton, all those affected. Can Councillor Vincent confirm what actions Wyre Council are taking with respect to a formal review of the lease and probable breaches which could lead to an eviction of Transwaste? And is the Council yet again going to focus purely on financial aspects of this situation rather than health and well-being concerns of local residents for the sake of £20 per resident?
Why are you laughing? It's not funny.
If you're going to ask questions that are incorrect legally, I wouldn't ask them to a lawyer. So first,
I think you need to watch your attitude, mate.
Here as leader of Wyre Council, and you have a duty to answer it. So please do not be rude.
Stop speaking. And let me
No,
answer the
I'm
question.
sorry, you were rude to me. You are the leader of Wyre Council. You are not answering.
You're a joke.
It's
Useless.
not rude to you at all.
You're useless.
If any member of the public, please can you allow to stop interrupting the meeting, otherwise we're not going to be able to get any questions
No,
answered.
but
So
your
please-
chair, there is a point of order.
I know
He's not
it's-
answering this question as a lawyer.
I know, but if you could let him finish the answering and then just step
No,
back.
can we just clarify though? He's answering this question as leader of Wyre Borough Council.
He's said that.
Full stop.
Thank you very much. I'll forget I'm a lawyer then. Okay, so
Please do.
the
Because you're a shit one.
Firstly, Suez have not paid a guarantee.
Yeah?
Misunderstanding
Got a problem.
what a guarantee is here, which is why I made the point about the legal side of things. Transwaste paid the bond. Suez guarantor Transwaste's interest in the lease.
But you're the
So
landlord.
can I answer the question?
Listen.
So Suez have
Why
not
do you
paid any
neck it?
money. I don't care one bit about the bond.
There you go. You
About
don't
anything.
care.
Rent at all.
You don't
No,
care.
says it all. Who are you talking to?
How
dare you.
Listen, we understand that this is a very sensitive issue, and
Yeah.
the only way
Yeah.
we're ever going to be able to hear everybody speak is if everybody just listens to each other. So if we could, just be respectful when other people are answering questions. Thank you.
You do not care about.
Wait.
I think you just put full stop there.
Can I, Dr. Neil, I'm trying to answer your question.
Well, please do. Get
Can
to
you
the
stop
point.
interrupting me and let me answer the question?
Oh! Got you there on video. Well done. Nice man, you are.
Continue, then I will move on to the next item on the agenda because we're not going to get
Okay,
anything.
but then I do need to say that I do not expect to be shouted at by the
Exactly.
leader of the Wyre Council.
Exactly. Yes, Barbara.
You don't care.
I apologise for shouting.
You
but
don't
can I-
care.
Apology accepted.
Can I please answer the question without anybody else interrupting me? Because I cannot possibly be expected to provide you with the answer that you all want and deserve while people keep interrupting. Please, can I answer uninterrupted? Please. Right.
You're rattled.
Carry on.
You're not filming Dr. Neil laughing when I ask that courtesy.
You were
So
laughing.
this just needs to be put on the record for those filming it. So, as I said, Suez haven't paid a bond. Suez haven't paid a bond. They guarantee the bond and they guarantee the interest in the lease of Transwaste. When it comes to the lease itself, and we'll deal with this more fully within the motion because this is about landlord rights and not anything to do with statutory nuisance, which is what your question was about. So we have rights under the lease, but if you read the lease, those rights are clearly defined. It's a lease, not a tenancy agreement. So actually the rules on this are set out in the Law of Property Act 1925, and they have security of tenure. Whether, clearly with the benefit of hindsight, we would never have granted this lease to Suez when it was granted, but it was
It's
done
all right,
years
we're
ago,
being
so we can't do
poisoned.
anything about that now. So they have a lease and they have protections under that lease. And I don't want them to. This is not about the money for this council. This idea that it's about the money.
What protection do we have?
True. We are a debt-free council with millions in reserve. The simple fact is, Dr. Neil, if I
Exactly.
surrender the lease with them tomorrow, we would do so. We do not care one bit about the money. We want this to be over. We want this to be over for everybody.
What protection do we have?
But we cannot just terminate their lease. So what happened was, when the Environment Agency served them with notice, they had until the 10th of April to comply with that notice. Had they not complied with that notice, at that point they would have been in breach of the lease. At that point we can serve them with notice, it gives them 3 months to rectify the breach, and at that point we can then serve them with a section 146 of the Law of Property Act 1925 notice that says we're going to seek forfeiture of the land. Because they rectified the breach of the lease, we don't get the opportunity to serve them with a 3-month notice and even start that process. That's with the EA. It's the EA who need to find them in breach of the terms of their permit, which we can then use to serve them with that notice and start forfeiture proceedings. I do not want to keep Transwaste on that site any second, and we have to. But we are bound by the law. That is not this council's doing. We are all desperate to get rid of them. For you. It's not about the money. And
The reason they're there is because of Wyre Council.
What protection do we have?
Don't be pointing at me, mate. You created this situation, and you've just said that you're not bothered about the fact that more than 7,000 people have complained.
No, I did not say that. No, I did not.
Look, they're all sticking up for him. This is what it's like a Wyre Borough Council meeting.
That concludes the questions on these pages. Thank you.
See, you get shut down yet again. Utter disgrace.